listen up. That song made history. So Beyonce became the first Black woman to ever top the country charts with that song, Texas Hold'em. But there's another voice on that track.
That's Roy Hamilton's iconic voice in the interlude to Beyonce's hit song. He gained the nickname Mr. Rock and Soul in the 50s.
Well, decades later, his grandson is following in his footsteps as a Grammy-nominated producer, songwriter, and A&R executive. Roy Hamilton III joins us now to talk about his
So take us back to the moment where you hear your grandfather's song, Don't Let Go, on Beyonce, Queen Beyonce's album.
Yes. So my mom called me, it was around midnight. I was half asleep. She said, Roy, wake up. Listen, you gotta hear this. I went to it. I couldn't believe what I heard. I was absolute shock. Still in shock. It led to this. I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's not my grandfather and I'm shocked.
Can we talk a little bit about the Beyonce effect? Because everyone has heard and read that after this album came up, streaming for other Black country artists just increased. So can you talk about how she's helping to maybe pull down some of country music's racial barriers?
Absolutely. I think because she chose to make this album and do it in a real Beyonce way, fusing gospel, soul, country, hip hop, it's really letting people know, hey, we're free to do this too. You know, make whatever kind of music you want to make. And I noticed that on my grandfather's music on Spotify, on YouTube, people are saying, hey, did you find this track also because of Cowboy Carter?
Yeah.
So it's helping to elevate my grandpa's music as well.
I love that you mentioned all of those genres that she was sort of melding together. Do you think genres even exist or matter today?
They do. It's a great question. They do exist and they do matter. They matter because in certain genres, like country, there's certain elements and instruments that belong there that help set the stage and tell the story. So that's important. But I also believe in fusing music. That's my favorite kind of music to make. Like what she did with this album. Yeah, bringing different elements together.
So let's talk a little bit more about your grandfather, because he was a big influence on Elvis Presley, and in particular on his vocals.
Absolutely, yeah.
So let's talk about any stories that he shared with you or what you're aware of the kind of barriers that he faced in music at that time.
It's a tough question because he was making music in a time when it was very tough for African Americans to navigate the music industry, but also navigating the South, where that picture is my grandfather in Tennessee, I believe, in the studio with Elvis Presley, teaching him how to sing a particular song and working with him. So I do think that there were some challenges just back then about racism and racial inequalities in music. And, you know, some of my grandfather's album covers didn't feature his face on it, but then some do. So there were things like that happening. Very interesting time in music.
But also white people who were able to literally profit without...
A lot more, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
crediting.
Absolutely.
I mean, have things changed in the music industry, or how far have things
Absolutely,
come?
we've come a long way. Artists are now in control of their master recordings like never before. They're publishing, reversionary rights are coming back around. So the labels are trying to do the right thing and you know, do better. But it's also up to us as creative people to know our rights and get online and learn and educate yourself as to what's what, you know, and what you own and how to control your own narrative, your own stories, your own likeness, your own image, and most importantly, your own voice.
Yeah. It is the music business. You gotta know the music, but you also gotta know the business. All right, so let's talk about the moment you decided to follow in your grandfather's footsteps. Talk to me about that.
Yep, so I was in the studio with my dad, who I wish my parents could have been here today for this. They're here in spirit, they're in Vegas. But I was at the studio, my dad was making his album, and I was singing backup vocals, very stressed out. It was very tense. And I went into the control room where the engineers and the producers were. And that's when at 14, I felt this sort of sense of peace and calm and focus. And I knew, I said like, okay, this is whatever these guys are doing with the music and the lights and the gadgets and stuff. I knew, I'm like, this is home. This is what I'm gonna be doing. And I'm still doing the same job today. Absolutely.
Amazing. So let's talk about you. Because you have done some impressive things. You've helped sell over 70 million albums worldwide.
Absolutely.
For megastars. Okay, get this. For people like, Michael Jackson. Britney Spears, NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys. The list goes on and on. So, I mean, we have questions probably about all these, but like, share a story, a memory that really stands out to you.
Michael, being in the studio working with Michael Jackson, first of all, when I got to the studio, there were these Secret Service people there. I was 20 years old. I'm just like nervous. And then after I got past them, I went into the studio and I saw Michael Jackson and Teddy Riley at the control board. And all I saw was Michael's legs and feet dancing and moving. And one of the most interesting things I noticed about these two, high-level professionals, they almost had this telekinetic sort of thing where they weren't saying a lot to each other, but they were like looking at each other and they just knew how to work. It was incredible to watch.
Really cool.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to go back to the beginning of this conversation, and that is with Queen Beyoncé. And you actually ran into her at the BMI Awards in Miami.
Yes.
You were both getting awards that night. So tell us about that encounter.
Absolutely. So I was there. I was getting my first BMI award for my first #1 song called Stutter by Joe. Joe and Mr. Cow. I could say you're lying, stutter, stutter. So it's my first record.
Good song.
And we were at this poolside party, and somebody was like, "Hey, do you two want a picture?" And like, yeah, I'm so glad I actually have a picture. So it's one of those, full circle moments there too, as well.
And you co-founded the Singers Company, and it's to help transform artists into pros. So I want to hear a little bit about that, and I also want to know, what art sort of star qualities are you looking for?
Absolutely. So at the Singers Company, I'm head of the A&R department, and the first thing I look for in an artist is obviously skill, but also coachability. And in singers and songwriters, the ability to listen really well and know how to take their stories, and you want to have that X factor. They say that thing that you don't really know what it is. But I feel like if you're a singer or a songwriter or a producer, and if you're just looking for great mentorship and people to really pour into what you do, you should probably talk to us at the Singers Company, because that's what we do. That's what we do best.
Very cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Roy, we just want to congratulate you on all of your success. What a ride for you and the entire family, all the way up. I wish your grandfather was around to see all of this and you.
From the great beyond, I'm so happy. And, thank you for my grandpa.
And thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.